students, welcome back to our online video class. The last few video sessions, you have been learning second chapter and introduction to Adobe Page Maker. Now we'll be pushing to third chapter. The chapter name is An Introduction to Database Management System. I hope so. You are going through this online videos regularly from home and learning your lessons. Do not waste time. Time is very, very precious. I have given you some assignment to finish the 1 mark questions. Keep it ready. Now we'll push on to lesson. The topics what we are going to cover in this lesson for today's video session is what is data, what is information, what do you mean by database management system, evolution of database management system, database management system concept, DBMS database models, relational database management system. First, let us get an idea what is data. Definitely you might have come across this term in your first chapter in 11th standard. Data is nothing but collection of unprocessed fact. We can collect data from various sources. That is, we can collect data from people, we can collect data from places, we can collect data from entity. What is the meaning of entity? The word entity stands for object. It may be a living object or a non-living object. For living objects, we are the best examples. For non-living objects, you can take table, a fan, a room, etc. Examples of non-living entity. Right. First, we will see what is data now. Here I have used 4 datas. Name equal to Ravi is one data. Age equal to 17 is my second data. Standard equal to 12 is my third data. Section equal to B is my fourth data. When I collect this data, does this data give any complete information when it is separate? No. When these data are put together, I mean to say processed together, it changes to an information about a person named called Ravi. So only we say once you collect a data, it is just unprocessed. When you process the data, it changes to a meaningful information. So once your data is processed, it will change to an information. Right? What is information? We can define information like this. Information is set of processed data that convey The relationship between data considered. Now I'm going to consider these four datas: Ravi, 17, 12, and B. When these four datas are processed, they convey a relationship. Ravi is somewhat related to this age 17. Then Ravi is related to the section and class. So when these data are processed, I get a meaningful information, right? Next thing is database. It's a place where we collect and store our data, right? We are able to save our data in computer in form of files, files, or folders, right? Same way, once we collect the data, we have to save the data in a place. The place where you save your data is called database. So the defined database like this, it's a place where we store, retrieve, and manage data. Then DBMS, Database Management System. What is the purpose of DBMS? It refers to set of programs to manage data. See, we have saved our data in database. To manage the data, right, we require a software. That software is nothing but database management system. Some of the popular database management system are MySQL, Oracle. A question raises in your mind. You say database is a place where we collect and store our data. Okay. How these data are stored in database? Data are stored in database in the form of tables, right? We would be grouping related data together and storing them under one group name called table. So database allows you to group all the data and store all the data under one name called table. Definition of DBMS. It stands for Database Management System. I said you it is one of a software. So they say it's one of the system software for creating and managing databases. To create databases and to manage databases, we require this software, Database Management System. What does DBMS provides to the user and the programmer? DBMS provides a systematic way to create, retrieve, update, and manage data. That is to create database, to retrieve the data from database, to update data in the database, and manage your data. We can split the term database management system into two: database plus management system. What does that word database refer? It refers, it's a place to store, retrieve, and manage data. What does management system refer? Set of programs to manage the data. See, later part of this lesson we'll be learning about SQL, structured query language, a language which is used for communicating with database. Okay, wow. So management system is nothing but set of programs to manage and retrieve the data from database, what you have stored. I said you will be grouping together all the data and storing them in form of table. So table structure is known to you. When you look at the table structure, it is nothing but combination of rows and columns, right? In DBMS, we can call table as relation of data. So when you look at the table structure, it contains rows and it contains columns. What is column called in a table in DBMS? Column will be called as attributes. It has got one more name. We can call as field or fields. Every row in a table will be called as tuple or record. Are you clear? See, collection of data will be stored in the form of table. Table is a combination of rows and columns, no doubt in that. But they are pronouncing the row here as tuple or record. They are pronouncing column here as attributes or fields. Good features of DBMS. What does a good DBMS do? It gives protection to data. It is providing a user-friendly environment. Next one is evolution of database management system. Why we have opted for database management system? Before database management system, we have been using file system. Normally, we collect all the data and store in one file, right? All the data in one file. To access any data, it is very, very difficult. We have to go in file system sequentially in order, one by one. We have to fetch records one by one. So searching of records and retrieving of records in file system is very, very difficult. So we have shifted from file system to database management system. These are some of the drawbacks of file system. Number one, they even call us disadvantage. Number one, data duplication, high maintenance, security. What is data duplication? Same data is used by multiple resources for processing, thus created multiple copies of same data, wasting the space. So same data is being reproduced in many files, thus it is producing wastage of spaces. That is called data duplication. We can find data in multiple files in file system. High maintenance. Access control and verifying data consistency needs high maintenance cost. To maintain your file system, we have to spend a lot of money. Third, security. File system does not able to provide a good security to the data what you have stored in that system. So less security provided to the data. So these are the three drawbacks of your file system, or we can even say as disadvantage of file system. Next one is concepts of DBMS. All the DBMS adheres the following basic concept. Number one, acid properties. Number two, concurrency control and locking. First, we will see what is acid properties. ACID. Every DBMS must follow this concept. The first one is atomicity. What does atomicity do? Follows thumb rule, all or nothing. See, in database, we are going to do some transaction. While the transaction takes place, if the transaction is successful, we say transaction is committed. If the transaction is not successful, we say it is abort. So, successful updating and failure in an updation, both can take place. So, atomicity says whether data are updated successfully or not, or data are not updated successfully. Clear? Let us take a small example here. There are two account holders in a bank. The first account holder name is A. The second account holder name is B. From account holder A, he needs to transfer money 5,000 from his account to account B. While the transaction takes place, account A's money 5,000 will be debited from his account and credited in account B. If it is credited in account B, then it is called successful updating. Transaction is successful. Sometimes from account A, money will be debited to account B, but account B will not be credited. That is called failure in updating. That is called aborting the transaction. So atomicity in DBMS follows whether data is successfully updated or data is not successfully updated. Consistency, the second of your acid property, ensures that changes in data value to be constant at any given instant. Once valid data is saved, we cannot make any changes. It states data are saved permanently. That is called consistency. Isolation, the third in your acid property. Property is needed for concurrent transaction. What is concurrent transaction? Multiple users doing the transaction, accessing the same object at the same time. We call that as concurrent transaction. When any user is performing concurrent transactions, we have to prevent the conflict in database, update the transaction so that no transaction is collapsed. So all these transactions are isolated from other user and they are serialized. This is known as degree of consistency. Now we can take an example. There are more than 10,000 customers of SBI Bank in Portugal. Of course, you can use your debit card in any ATM centers to withdraw the money. Simultaneously, there are 1,000 customers going to different branches around the city and withdrawing the amount. So, concurrent transaction, multiple transaction takes place. So when the multiple transaction takes place, we have to avoid conflict. So that is achieved by isolation property, right? Then one more thing about isolation. When isolation has been adopted, you must be very sure your transaction does not affect others. That is, does not affect other users. Durability. It is defined as a system's ability to recover all committed transactions during failure of storage or the system. Even though if there is any problem in any transaction or if the system has failed to do a successful transaction, durability is a process. If the transaction has occurred successfully, it is able to recover the data, right? So only they say data written once will not be lost. Whatever transaction you are doing, it has been saved in server, so nothing has been lost. We can recollect the data from the database server. Second basic concept of DBM is concurrency control and locking. It is the mechanism used for data sharing. When the same data is being shared by multiple users, proper access control is needed and privilege of changing the application data item is controlled through locking. Just imagine we have a bank website. That website is being accessed by multiple users of that bank. Every user of the bank has a right to access this account. So concurrent transaction takes place there. When current transaction takes place there, it must be ensured that proper access control is needed and privilege is needed so that data of one customer is not being lost or data of one customer is not being seen by other customer. That is called concurrency control and locking. Database models. Database technology came into existence in terms of models. And we have 4 types of models. Number 1, hierarchical model. Number 2, network model. Number 3, relational model. Number 4, object-oriented model. First, we will see what is hierarchical model. The first hierarchical database model name was IMS. It stands for Information Management System. And this first hierarchical database model was given by IBM. There are some points in hierarchical database model. Point number 1. Your hierarchical database model follows parent-child relationship. Parent-child relationship. Point number 2. The origin of data is called tree. Now look at this diagram, which is called the root. School is called the root. Student and teachers, they are called as node. Below this node, we have your leaves. Very clear? Are you able to follow what I'm saying? This hierarchical database model follows your tree structure. Second, they follow parent-child relationship. One record to other record have parent-child relationship. Right? One more thing, hierarchical database model supports what relationship? One to many. One to many. Right? Are you clear? Okay. Each individual record are equivalent to the table of relational model. Here we are storing name, age, and class is one record. So each and every record what you are storing is equal to a table in relational model. Advantages of hierarchical database model. First advantage, less redundant data. What's the meaning for redundant or redundancy? Avoids duplication of data. Number two, efficient search. We can search our records very easily in hierarchical database model. Third, data integrity. What is the meaning of integrity? Accuracy of the data. Fourth, provides good security to the data stored in database. That is hierarchical database. These are the advantages. Disadvantage, complex to implement, difficult to adopt this model. Second thing, hierarchical database model does not handle many to many relationship. It handles one to many. It does not support your many to many relationship. The next model is network model. Network model was developed by a company name called Honeywell. The first network model name was IDS. It stands for Integrated Data Store. Few points about network model. Your network model is similar to hierarchical model. It also follows your parent-child relationship. But each number can have more than one owner. Look at this diagram here. This is the diagram for your network model. Now, how many nodes are there for the leaf student here? There are two nodes, CSC department, library. Or we can say there are two owners for the student record. Okay, wow. So each member of this model can have more than one owner. Clear? What are the components of network model? Your network model is made up of three components: network schema, subschema, language. What is network schema? Schema defines all about structure of the database. This is the structure of network database model where we have two nodes for a leaf, right? Then subschema controls on views of database. How can we view our records in the network model? That viewing is being set by subschema component. Language, basic procedural for accessing the database. We need to access data from this network model. To access the data from the network model, they'll be using some language that is called basic procedural for accessing the database. Advantage and disadvantage of network model. What are the advantages of network model? Number one, easy data access. Number two, data integrity. I said you what is integrity stands for. It stands for accuracy of the data. Data independency. These are the three advantages of network model. Disadvantage. Network model is difficult in design and maintenance. The next model is relational model. Relational model is one of the most important model because most of the DBMS supports your relational database model. They define relational model like this. Any database whose logical organization is based on relational data is known as relational database. Whenever you talk about relational database system, your relational database system is made up of tables. First point. Look at this diagram. We have three tables here. Table number 1, table number 2, table number 3. In table number 1, student ID, name, age. These three, as far as you are concerned, we can say as column. Columns can be otherwise called as attributes. Second table, subject ID, name, teacher. These are the three attributes of your second table. Third table, student ID, subject ID, marks. When you talk about relational model, all these tables in this model are related together. How they are related together? Now take your table 1 and table 2. In table 1, we have the attribute student ID. The same attribute can be seen on table 3. Take table 2. We have subject ID. The same attribute can be seen on table 3. So, this student ID attribute forms a relationship to the third table from first table to third table. This subject ID forms a relationship between the second table and third table. So, the student ID is called as keys. That is, student ID as well as subject ID will be called as keys. What is keys? Common field exists between tables. Now, student ID is the common field existing between the first table and the third table. Subject ID is the common field existing between the second table and the third table. What are the famous relational model database available in the market? Oracle and DB2. Some terminologies you have to learn about relational model is, first one is instance. A table consisting of rows and columns. Definitely a relational model is made up of tables. No doubt in that. Table will definitely made up of rows and columns. Schema specifies the structure including name and type of each column. Look at the table 1. Specify the structure. Yes, this table contains how many rows and how many columns? 3 columns and 4 rows. That's the structure of the table. Name of each and every attribute. Student ID, name, age. Type of each attribute. Student ID and age can store numbers. Name attribute in the table can store only characters. That is called schema. Object-oriented database model. One of the latest model used in your database concept. When you talk about object, any living entity or a non-living entity is called as object. Object-oriented database model follows your OOPS principle, object-oriented programming principle. Here, they use a small reusable software name called object. Every object has got its own attribute and methods. Now take this diagram. Here we have customer. We can take customer as entity. These are the attributes of this object. Take account as one of the entity. Number and balance are the attributes of account. But both these entities are having a small difference. Can anyone say? Customer can be called as a living entity. Account cannot be called as a living entity. It's a non-living entity. So every object is referenced by its attributes. More complex behaviors are handled efficiently by object-based model. We push on to next topic. Relational database management system. Already you have seen this definition. I'll pronounce you one more time. Any database whose logical organization is based on relational data model is known as relational database. You know, relational database, their data are related together. Relational database consists of tables. Every table is related with other table by having a common field. That common field is called as keys. RDBMS is the basis for SQL and for all modern database systems like MySQL, Oracle, and Microsoft Access. These are some other DBMS which supports your RDBMS concept, Relational Database Management System concept. The basic ideas of RDBMS, it supports database concept, it supports table, it, it supports your tuple relation, it supports your attribute, it supports your schema, it supports your key. We'll see all these things one by one right now. First, we'll get an idea what is relational database. Now look at these two tables here. This is my first table. First table name is student table. Second table name is activity table. Now these two tables are related. How they are related? First table's attribute ID is present in second table. Through this, two tables are related. So there exists a common field between these two tables. This common field is called as keys. Clear? So relational database is able to make a relationship between one table to other table. Why? Because they are having a common field. Through that common field, relationship is made. Database. One of the popular relational database is MySQL. Why? It is one of the open source available in the market. One more thing, MySQL can support in any platform. We can use MySQL in Windows operating system or Linux or in Mac operating system. Any operating system we can use your MySQL. Clear? Advantage of RDBMS. Why they use RDBMS and what is the advantage? Number one, high availability. You know, relational database like MySQL is an open source. Anybody can download from internet. High performance. It is good to store your data and retrieve your data. Robust transaction. Huge amount of data can be transacted in the file. Ease of management. Very easy to handle. Less cost. Of course, relational database like MySQL is open source. Anybody can download freely from internet without paying any money. Second important concept in RDBMS, table. Of course, table is a structure made up of rows and columns. No doubt in that. Every column will be called as attribute or field. Every row will be called as tuple or record. So table is the simple representation of relationship in RDBMS. Third concept of RDBMS, column. Just now I studied about table. Every vertical entity. See, if you take this table now, this ID, look at this one. This is your vertical entity. This vertical entity is called column. Column can be called as attribute in table. Each column is known as attribute. Row, a single entry in a table. Now look at the table at the bottom. ID 1, name Alex, age 26, salary 22,000. So set of related data represented in a row is called as tuple or record. They define row like this: a single entry in a table. In a single entry, we are able to fill all the data, so it is called as a row or a record or a tuple. Column is called vertical entity. Row is called horizontal entity in a table. The next important concept, keys. I said you, We are able to relate tables in RDBMS by having a common field between two tables. That common field is called as keys. The first key you are going to learn is primary key. First, learning this primary key, we should understand the concept. Now take yourself, you have written your 11th public examination. Every student contains an unique public register number. Can anyone say we have a register number same? It's not possible. All the student register number will be unique, will be different. No two students can have the same roll number. So that is called unique. So why they set a primary key in table in RDBMS? To make sure to avoid duplication in table. That's the reason they use primary key. Primary key can be otherwise called as candidate key. They define candidate key like this. We can call as a candidate key or we can call as a primary key. Key chosen to perform the identification task is called primary key, and other keys are called as alternate key. Apart from candidate key in the table, other keys are called as alternate key. What's the specialty of a primary key? It should contain unique value. Unique means different value, not same, different value. A primary key which is a combination of more than one attribute is called composite primary key. If a table contains more than one primary key, we can call that combination as composite primary key. Look at the table here. We have three attributes, that is three columns. Student roll number, student name, gender. What does student roll number contain? All the roll numbers of a student. In this particular attribute, definitely repetition is avoided. We cannot enter the same roll number one more time in the table in this attribute column. So this column or this attribute in the table will be set as a primary key. A key which avoids duplication of data. Clear? Foreign key. Now there are two tables here. The primary key of one table is being copied to other table. That primary key which is being copied to other table will be called as a foreign key. Now look at the first table. We have student roll number. That's a primary key. If this primary key is going to be used in other table, this primary key, what you see in the table number 1, becomes a foreign key in table number 2. So a foreign key is a copy of a primary key that has been exported from one relation into another to represent the existing of relationship between them. Relation means table. One drawback of foreign key is that foreign key can be null. Null means foreign key field can contain duplicate value. Foreign key column can contain null value. But this is not possible in primary key, but it is possible in foreign key. I'll repeat one more time. Primary key of one table is being copied to other table. Then that primary key is called as foreign key. Now student roll number is a primary key in table 1. The same primary key is going to be used in table number 2. Here student roll number will be called as what key? Foreign key. Super key. Look at the definition what they are given. An attribute or group of attribute which distinguishes every tuple in relation from every other is known as super key. They do not say one single attribute, they say group of attributes or an attribute, which is used to distinguish every tuple. Tuple means every row, or we can say a record. Each super key is called as candidate key. Keep in mind, super keys are formed not by a single key. Super keys are formed by a group of keys, or we can say group of attributes. Here, look at this table. We have 3 attributes: student ID, exam number, mobile number. Can we say all these 3 attributes are identical? repetition is not done. We cannot do, no student can have the same ID. Exam number cannot be repeated. Mobile number cannot be repeated. So by using student ID and exam number, I can find out the mobile number. So student ID and exam number will be called as a super key. So two attributes are used to find other attribute that we can call as what? Super key. Or by keeping student ID, I can find out the exam number and mobile number of a student. So that is also what? A super key. Right? Composite key. A key with more than one attribute to identify rows uniquely in a table. Look at the table here. There are two attributes here, student ID, subject ID. By using both these attributes, or if you combine both these attributes together, that key is called what key? Composite key. Normally, a table will contain one primary key. Suppose if a table contains two primary keys, if the two primary keys are combined together, they are called as composite key. Composite key can be called as compound key. So only they say a key with more than one attribute to identify rows uniquely in a table is called composite key. Right? That's all for today's video session. Try to learn all this concept from your home. Do not waste your time. We'll meet in the next video session. Thank you.